Daily habits for a longer life. Did you know that some of the strongest predictors of a long life have nothing to do with genetics, expensive treatments, or extreme routines? They are quiet choices you repeat every single day often, without thinking. The way you eat, how often you move, how long you sit, and the habits you consider too small to matter may be shaping your lifespan more than you realize. In this video, we'll uncover the science showing how simple daily habits can add years to your life, and why the smallest changes often have the biggest impact over time. Did you ever notice that some people seem to stay healthier longer, even into old age, not because they have good luck, but because they live a certain way? What if I told you that science now shows it's not only genetics, and it's not some magic pill, it's the daily choices you make that can add years, even decades, to your life? In today's video, we're diving deep into what research from the National Institutes of Health reveals about how just a handful of healthy habits can boost your lifespan by 10, 12, or even more years. Stick around, this could change the way you live forever. Why healthy habits are more important than you think. Modern medicine has made extraordinary progress. Diseases that were once considered fatal can now be managed for decades. Advanced imaging, powerful medications, and cutting-edge surgical techniques have transformed healthcare in ways previous generations could barely imagine. Yet, despite all of these medical breakthroughs, a troubling reality remains. People in the United States still do not live as long as people in many other developed nations. This gap is not primarily caused by a lack of medical technology. Instead, it is driven by chronic diseases that develop slowly over time: heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and other long-term conditions that are deeply connected to how people live their everyday lives. These illnesses rarely appear overnight. They are the cumulative result of years, sometimes decades, of daily behaviors. What we eat, how often we move, how much we sleep, how we cope with stress, and whether we engage in habits like smoking or excessive drinking. For a long time, lifestyle advice has often been treated as secondary to medical treatment, almost like a footnote to real health care. Exercise more, eat better, sleep well. These suggestions are familiar, almost cliché, and because of that, they are easy to dismiss. Many people assume that their impact is modest, at best helpful, perhaps, but unlikely to make a dramatic difference in how long they live. Science now tells a very different story. A major research project led by Harvard scientists and published in the journal SPD set out to examine this question with unprecedented depth. Researchers analyzed decades of health data from more than 120,000 adults, tracking their behaviors over time and observing how those behaviors influenced long-term survival. This was not a short-term experiment or a small clinical trial. It was a comprehensive look at real lives unfolding across years and generations. The researchers examined a set of everyday habits: diet quality, physical activity, smoking status, alcohol consumption, and body weight, and compared people who consistently practiced healthy behaviors with those who did not. What they discovered was both inspiring and unsettling. Individuals who adopted a combination of simple, common-sense healthy habits did not just live slightly longer. In many cases, they lived more than a decade longer than those who adopted none of them. This finding challenges a deeply ingrained assumption that longevity is mostly determined by genetics or chance. While genes do play a role, this research makes it clear that lifestyle choices have a powerful and measurable impact on how long and how well we live. Longevity is not reserved for the genetically fortunate. It is shaped, day by day, by ordinary decisions that often feel insignificant in the moment. Perhaps most striking is that these habits are not extreme. They do not require elite athleticism, strict diets, or radical life overhauls. They are behaviors that, in theory, are accessible to most people. Yet, when practiced consistently over time, they reshape the body's physiology, SLOW, the progression of chronic disease, and dramatically reduce the risk of premature death. In today's video, we'll unpack these habits one by one. We'll explore the science behind why they matter, how they interact with the body at a biological level, and why their effects compound over time. More importantly, we'll look at how small, realistic changes, rather than perfection, can contribute to a longer, healthier life. This isn't about chasing immortality. It's about understanding how everyday choices quietly determine the length and quality of the years ahead. The study, How Much More You Could Live. Researchers looked at two massive long-term studies, the Nurses' Health Study and the Health Professionals' Follow-Up Study, along with national mortality data. They examined how combinations of lifestyle habits affected lifespan. Here's what they found when they compared people at age 50. A woman who practiced all 5 healthy habits lived on average to 93 years old. Compared with age 79, for someone with none of those habits, a man at 50 who followed the healthy habits lived on average to about 88, compared with about 76 if he didn't follow any. That's roughly 10 to 14 extra years of life, just from everyday lifestyle choices, not surgeries, not experimental drugs. Choices you can start now. Habit number 1, being physically active. The first habit is regular physical activity. The people who lived the longest didn't necessarily run marathons. They did at least 30 minutes of movement per day. That could be walking briskly, cycling, gardening, or anything that gets your body moving and your heart rate slightly up. Physical activity strengthens your heart, keeps arteries flexible, improves insulin sensitivity, supports mental health, and even boosts immune function. Even leisure activities like brisk walking, dancing, or cycling help reduce mortality risk, especially when done consistently over time. So the message isn't be super fit, it's just keep moving every day. Habit number 2, eating a healthy diet. The second major lifestyle factor is diet. In the study, people who lived longest ate a pattern rich in fruits and vegetables, whole grains, nuts, healthy fats, and minimized foods like salty snacks, sugary drinks, red and processed meats, and trans fats. This isn't about fad dieting, it's about nutrient-dense, whole foods that fuel the body without overloading it with calories, sugar, or inflammation-promoting components. Eating this way doesn't just help maintain a healthy weight, it lowers your risk of heart disease, diabetes, and many cancers. Healthy eating also stabilizes blood sugar and supports good gut health, both essential for preventing chronic disease as we age. Habit number 3, not smoking and limiting alcohol. The third and fourth habits are not smoking and limiting alcohol intake. Smoking has been linked to nearly every major cause of death, including lung disease, heart disease, and many cancers. Quitting or never starting is one of the strongest ways to increase lifespan. Moderate alcohol consumption also matters. The study defined moderation as no more than 1 drink per day for women, no more than 2 drinks per day for men. Anything beyond that raises your risk of liver disease, certain cancers, heart problems, and more. Keeping it moderate helps protect your long-term health without sacrificing your social life. Habit number 5, maintaining a healthy weight. Finally, maintaining a healthy weight, generally defined as a body mass index, BMI, in the normal range, is linked to longevity. Carrying excess weight increases inflammation throughout the body, creates hormonal imbalances, and greatly raises the risk for heart disease, TYPE, to diabetes, stroke, some cancers, joint degeneration. Keeping your weight in a healthy range through the combination of balanced eating and regular activity reduces this risk and helps your body age more resiliently. Researchers found that each of the 5 habits independently reduced the risk of death from any cause, and combining all 5 had the biggest impact. Why small habits matter? What's remarkable about this research is not just how much longer people lived, but that even adopting 1 or 2 of the healthy habits, like walking more, eating better, or quitting smoking, lowered the risk of early death compared to doing none. It reinforces something deeply important. Long life isn't built through extremes, it's built through consistent small choices repeated over years. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. And even public health experts suggest that making environments healthier, from better food availability to safer places to walk and exercise, could help millions adopt these habits and live longer, healthier lives. So, what does science tell us? It tells us that how you live matters as much as, or more than, your genes or luck. It tells us that simple choices like moving daily, eating whole foods, moderating alcohol, not smoking, and keeping a healthy weight can literally add decades to your life. And the best part? It's never too late to start. If you found this research fascinating, hit like, subscribe for more evidence-based health science, and let us know in the comments which healthy habit will you start this week. Because your tomorrow begins with the choices you make today.